Hey everyone, thanks for joining the video today. I'll be doing a real quick update on Bitcoin. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to talk about here. I did a video last week and we were talking about it and I said we were going to break 9,000 and we did that. We almost hit 9,200 and so I'm going to talk a little bit about the price action here, what I think is going to be happening next. And, of course, this isn't financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just going to give my opinion on the market here. So I hope you all are having a really good day, good night, good evening, wherever you are. If you're in the United States, chances are you've got the day off and all of the traditional markets are closed. So, you've got to be looking at Bitcoin. So that's what I'm going to be looking at today. A lot of other crypto assets as well. All right, so what I want to take a look at real quick here is what I think happened, and where potentially things are going to be going next. So I want to take a look, of course, from down here at the bottom here on December 18th or so. We had a good move up and then a retrace, and it came back. So far, it was kind of a good target for a 1-2 or an A-B. We talked a little bit about that, where this could have been an A-B, and this would have stopped here at the C, but that didn't happen, and then we moved a little bit higher. And then, this went so far that this looked more like a 3, right? Because we extended beyond our algo target for an ABC. So this looks more like a 1, a 2, and a 3 to the upside. And then we're basically putting in our 4. And what it looks like happened is, we had a little bit of, overzealous bulls out there that took us up here to create a little bit of an expanded flat, this ABC, to be an expansion where an expanded flat goes higher than what our wave 3 tick was, and that's, I'm expecting wave 3 to be here at about 89.15. I was expecting the pullback, at the time to come back to maybe 8,400, maybe 81.30, somewhere in this range, and of course we hit, we hit this target pretty well. So I'm counting this as as an A, B, C, maybe W, X, Y. There are some things in here that I do kind of want to pay attention to, so I'm going to take a look at a couple of these things here. The first is we do have a very clear wedge that's forming in here. So that's a very clean wedge that happened there, very similar to this little wedge that happened right here in this range. So, we're seeing a lot of compression. After a small upside move, we see a compression and then an expansion to the upside. So we had an upside move, a compression, and then an expansion to the upside. But this time we had, our push down. So again, we have, this first move down, and then we have the second move up, and then this third move down. And it came down to our algo target. It missed it by $1. And it could just be that I've got my targets off here, but we hit this 236 perfectly. Now, full disclosure, I am still looking at a breakdown. If we break down below this 84.29, then I would expect that we do come down here to this 81.28 mark. I don't think we're going to come so far down as the 78.85 because I am actually still of the opinion that we are in a wave 4. So it could be this maybe takes a little bit longer. Maybe we take another push down here for 84.29 or so. Maybe we go so far as say 8400, but what I'm seeing here is not bad stuff, right? So what I'm seeing here is this top that we have up here, we're basically kind of tagging that a little bit. So we've got this range here where I'm expecting there to be a good bit of demand down there. So there's definitely a bit of demand down here in this range where there's some accumulation taking place, and we can see that. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here. And just kind of take a look at this demand that I am seeing. All right, so we've got our tops here, and so this tops where people were selling the top, and then the price blew through them. Now they're going to come back down here. They're going to be buying, and we're seeing a lot of absorption, a lot of these really crazy wicks. So to be quite honest, right here in this range here, we'll call it 85.75. This is an area where I'm expecting hourly candles to hold, and we had a test down here, we had a test here again. I would say if we come back for 85.75, we probably are going to break it this time, but we have had low, and then we've had a higher low, and then we've had a higher low again. At the same time, as we've been getting these higher lows, we are getting lower highs. So, it is very interesting, and I can't say that this is going to be what this is going to resolve to be. It could be that it ends up looking a little bit like this. If we start doing something like this and we don't break to the upside and sometime soon, then I'd say our chances also of breaking down, coming down here to this 81.28 region are a little amplified. I would say that it is possible that we do come lower, right? Okay. So, this wedge, if this continues to consolidate here, I think the chances of breaking down are higher. If we finally break up above this level, and I was talking about this on the Discord yesterday, when this happened, I say we need to retake 8,700 and we need to hold 8,700. Well, we had a candle where we broke above 8,700, but we immediately fell through with a significant amount of force. So that was not a confirmed break of 8,700. And then the next candle after that, we came up, we had a high of 87.16. The next candle, we broke below it. Not with as much velocity as we did the previous time we broke 8,700, but nonetheless, we are struggling to break above 8,700. So my opinion is we have to break above 8,700 for there to be any hope for moves to the upside. Right now, this is looking a little bit like a bear flag, but I'm going to be a little bit of an optimist that it is possible for us to push back above 9,000 again, even if we come down here to 8,100, where if this 4 were to come all the way down here, I would actually prefer that. And the reason why I would prefer that is because of the length of time between the 1 and the 2. So if we take a look here between the 1 and the 2, let's just take like a date range here from the 1 to the 2 here. This took 10 days, 9 hours, okay? And the amount of time that we've been spending here in this anticipated 4 wave, we've been in here right now for 5 days, 17 hours. So we've been here for about half the amount of time. For us to come out here for a 1-to-1 parity, so 10 days, 9 hours, it's going to take us all the way out here to the end of, basically the end of January, January 25th. So if this happens to take the same amount of time, which 4 waves don't always take the same amount of time as a wave 2, but that would make a little bit of sense, taking us down here actually to this upper on our channel. And let me go ahead and zoom out here, take a look at the upper on this channel. We've been talking about this for a long time. So for us to come down here is quite possible before we make that move up to the upside. And again, I'm not going to talk about future predictions just quite yet, but I'm just kind of taking a look here on my videos on where I think we're going to be going in the next day or two, because I do videos on Bitcoin almost every day. So if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know that I do these videos on a pretty regular basis. But nonetheless, I would say 8,700. If we break 8,700, we do make a move to the upside. Otherwise, I'm interested in buying down here at 8,400. I'm also interested in buying down here at 8,100. So I'm keeping bids for both of these areas. But I am short-term bullish on this. Up to about 9,400, maybe 9,500. We'll kind of wait and see what happens. But if I've got buys down here, 8,400 and even 8,100 that hit, our algo target's going to be sitting right up here at 9,400. And then what I'm expecting to see is some resolution. If this is a 1-2, we've got to see some thrust to the upside. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to consolidate here and then finally roll over. And then this 8,100 bid is probably what's going to get filled. And then at that point, I'm going to expect to see a 1, 2, and then a larger 3, 4, 5 to get us up here into this range, this 9,400 range. But we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens. But that's kind of what I'm expecting to see. Again, one last time, 8,700, a break and a hold on an hourly. So I'd like really to see 2 hourly candles above 8,700. Otherwise, if we start closing below this level, which I was outlining about 85.75 on an hourly, chances are pretty good there's going to be some continuation to the downside, especially if we break through this projected this rising diagonal that we've got right here. So if we break below this, and as of right now that's sitting right here 85.25, if we break below that, chances are pretty good we're going to be continuing to the downside. So be very careful with that. And otherwise, I would be interested in buying again, potentially here 8,400, small bids at 8,400, large bids at 81.25. All right, well, that's what I've got on Bitcoin. I kept that pretty short, one of my shorter videos on Bitcoin there at 10 minutes or less. But wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, a good evening. And if you would like access to our Discord, just throw out a comment, and I will get an invite code out to you. I do realize that I've got a couple invite codes I do have to send out, so I'm going to get those out. But again, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I will catch you all later. I'll be doing some analysis on other altcoins later today.